showers in the evening. Raining moderately Wednesday and hot around 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
Hewitt Tire and Auto has been in business in Panama City forever. Locals taking care of locals. From the smallest to the largest vehicles, they do it all. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the experts.
Hewitt Tire and Auto, your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Toyotathon is on at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 1.99% APR on a new Camry and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 3.49% APR on a new Corolla and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 1.99% on a new Tacoma, plus $1,000 in holiday cash. And 1.99% on a new Tundra, plus you'll get $1,000 in holiday cash. Shake up your holidays at Toyotathon.
Offers expire December 1st. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details. For exciting college football, the best boiled seafood, and the most game day fun, it's Lone Star Boil House. Watch the games on their huge Jumbotron. Challenge your friends to beer pong, cornhole, and oversized Connect 4 in their new adult lounge. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for incredible wings, the best boiled seafood, and a new breakfast menu. Saturday and Sunday starting at 9. Crush the follow on Facebook to catch huge game day specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
The defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Time for the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's a beautiful Monday right here in the Panhandle. We're at the CBC Construction Studio right here, and I'm excited and pumped up and ready to go. We've got a full house on the location today. As always, Coach Brian Haddad. How you doing, Brian?
Good.
And Jeffrey is in the building wearing his Houston Astros shirt this afternoon. How you doing, Jeffrey?
Trastros.
All right, good. And we got Jimmy, married with children, Polk High, number 33 in the building. How you doing, Jimmy?
33 touchdowns in their state championship high school football game.
That's right, good. And as promised, head football coach of the Mosley Dolphins and the friend of the show, Coach Tommy Joe Whitten. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good.
Good to have you here. It's a Monday. We're excited, and we're excited to have you, Coach. We're not excited that it was this soon,
right?
But we are happy to have Coach Tommy Joe with us, and we're going to go right into it right now. Coach, what a wonderful season. I mean, absolutely just a great season. You guys started out, hot, had the little bit of a slip up with Bay,
right,
and just started cooking with Grease all the way through, went to the second round, and, just couldn't overcome the things that happened in football. And so, Coach, let's talk about that game.
Yeah, for sure.
So going in, you watched a lot of film on Mainland. You knew exactly what you had. Was there a lot of difference in the game compared to what you saw when you were watching their film?
Yeah, there's a couple of little things that are a little bit different from what we saw in film going into the game. Going into the game, they had two Division I, middle linebackers, and they really had loaded the box, really tried to take your run game away. Going in there versus us, they gave us a lot of soft boxes. It felt like they were nervous about our ability to throw the football. We ran the ball way better than I anticipated against them going in. I thought running was going to be really tough. We get into it, we're getting a lot of five-man boxes and just almost daring us, to run the football. Now, as we got into it, once we got into the red area, they went back to just cramming the box and, trying to force us to throw the ball down there in the red zone area. And, but no, I thought our kids played really hard. Obviously, like you said, we turned the ball over 4 times. And, whenever you're playing a quality football team, the turnover battle definitely matters. And, it sucks that we didn't play our best game, in that situation. But just proud of the way our kids competed. In the first quarter, we're down 3 scores. I'm like, we're about to get running clocked here.
Yeah.
And, but our kids, clawed their way back into the ball game and ultimately had a chance to win it there on the last drive. But there you could tell they're a really talented football team. Our margins going into that were probably going to be pretty small. We had to play, an A- game at worst against those guys. Yeah. And we definitely didn't do that. You have to tip your hat to them. The type of kids they have, the players they have, and they're still playing and we're not. But again, just proud of our seniors and how hard they competed in the year that we ultimately had.
Yeah, so it was 36-31, and still in the fourth quarter, like you're alluding to, you had a minute 25 to go. You got the ball on your side of the field.
Right.
And, we're driving, and things happen, and you get was it a tip ball? Or
yeah, we were throwing a tunnel screen and threw it a little bit high, and it tipped off Carson's hands and, fell right into the lap of the linebacker. And, and that's just part of football. It's a game of inches, and, ball's a little bit lower, and we got a chance to catch and run and, possibly set up a big play. But, it's part of it.
Yeah.
And, it's frustrating. But at the same time, like I told the guys after the saying, we're disappointed that we lost in the fashion that we did. But at the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow, we have no regrets because of just how hard we played. We definitely gave ourselves a chance. And also, too, to put ourselves in that situation, considering the season where we started the year, starting 101, losing to our rivals, I felt like a lot of people probably wrote us off, in that moment, and just a testament to our kids of continually get better, every single week. And, also even coming into the year, it was like, hey, how are you going to replace LaCavion? How are you going to replace Sammy Freitas? How are you going to replace Raiden Bruins? And obviously we had a lot of guys to fill those gaps. And, also, too, just for the future of our program, we're talking about today, over the course of our season, we started 8 different sophomores.
Wow.
Over the course of this season. So, kind of going into it, a lot of people thought it was going to be a gap year for us where, hey, Mosley might go take a step back this year, and we're still able to rattle off 10 wins with a young football team. So I'm just excited about the future of our program and the direction that we're heading.
And see, that's to me, like, I don't know if you guys have been out there to watch, but to see exactly what's going on. And obviously he's not going to say this, right? He's not going to say it, okay? I'm going to have to say it because he won't say it. The way that he coaches with the groups that he has is really the phenomenal thing about it, you know, in the fact that you're playing against, you know, having more Division I prospects on the other team than on your team. You turned the ball over 4 times. 3 of those, might I add, in your end zone.
Oh, yeah.
3 of those were, you know, that's 21 points. And then one of them was a pick 6, correct? So
it was.
So that's 28 points shifted right there. And so you're only losing to what a lot of college, you know, coaches and staffs believe is a better team out there, but you're down by 5 points at the end of the game, and you turn the ball over 4 times. That talks about coaching. You can say what you want. You can say this or that about this player, about that player, but coach, your coaching is why y'all didn't take a step back, and being able to be out there and seeing the level and the height that you hold those kids accountable is another thing that I want to say. I just don't, and I'm not like trying to, you know, give you flowers. There's no flowers on the table, but I'm saying the way he coached them up was, you know, and so I can't, watching the game and knowing what all I know about it, there's no way that, you know, because me and him, we always talk about, you know, if Alabama plays this team 10 times, would they beat them, you know, 2 times, 3 times, 4? I don't see it going their way. I see a split possibly. Maybe they might get you a little more, 6-4, something like that. But I think you guys were definitely able to play in that. Y'all were supposed to be there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, we definitely felt like we deserved to be there.
Yeah.
And like I said, we felt like we had a really good game plan going into it. We thought we were going to be able to do some things to give ourselves some opportunities to win. But you know, like that's part of sports is every time you go out there, you might not have your A game.
Yeah.
You know, and when you don't have your A game, you still got to find a way to give yourself a chance to win. And like I said, I think that's just a testament to our players, their willingness to compete. And, you know, when their back's against the wall, not to throw in the towel. Because I felt like right there then in the first quarter, I mean, the guys could have easily just said, hey, it was a great season, great run. Hey, we're playing a good team. We're down 3 scores. You know, this sucks. You know, let's try again next year. And that was definitely not the mindset of these guys, that they wanted to find a way to try to get back in it, and they did. And, like I said, it's a special group. The guys, a group of seniors that are definitely near and dear to my heart just because of that. Because in high school sports, that's so hard to come by.
Yeah.
And again, that's going to be the hard part of next season, trying to replicate that same mindset, that same tenacity, and just the willpower to will yourself to victory. And that's a special thing that this group had. And again, definitely going to be missed.
You know, I was out of town. I was in North Alabama, but I was able to watch it, which was fun for me. And I noticed that it kind of, to the point, this sounds rough to say, but it's true. In watching the game, you guys looked like the better football players. You could tell they had a ton of talented athletes.
Yeah.
But what I was very impressed with, like you say, it's hard. You guys go down 21-0.
Right.
You know, the kids could lose, you know, faith in things and effort. Right. But also what you see happen a lot with high school athletes, you well know, they lose discipline in that. They get desperate. They start, you know, doing things. Your guys did a good job of still focusing on their job, and that was a lot of fun to watch. There is one instance I want to ask you about, and not to question the call, because I think we'd probably all agree. I think it was in the third quarter, might have been early fourth. And again, I'm trying to watch this through a phone, so it's hard to see, but it appears there's a targeting call on you guys. I didn't know you could target with your hand, but we'll leave that part of it for. But I couldn't really tell what happened after that fact. Are the high school rules different for targeting than they are in college? Or what happened in that play? Did you end up losing a player over it?
No, we don't. You don't lose a. The rules are completely different than what they are in college. And in high school, to get a targeting call, a player would have to leave his feet in like a projectile manner to and hit a head-to-head contact.
Right.
When you go back and watch it, I mean, that clearly...
It was a slap.
Yeah, it clearly doesn't happen. You make the argument that we, like, barely even...
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even hit the guy in the head.
That's right.
Let alone a kid, like, launching himself into, you know, another player. So, but listen, we talk about this... ad nauseum within our program. Like, we are never going to blame the officials. Like, we have to play and execute so well that not only do you beat the other team, but sometimes you're going to have to beat the officials too, especially when we go on the road. You know, we talk about that when we go on the road, we're going to have to win by 14 to win by 7.
Yeah, you're down 14.
You know, like that's just part of it, and we understand and accept that that's going to happen. Like, it's been going on since the beginning of time in football,
right?
And that's not an excuse. And just like to echo your point, like we talk about going to the game. They are definitely the more athletic team. Yeah, but we thought we were the better football team, and the way that we are going to win this game is through our execution.
That's right.
Ultimately, our execution wasn't there where it needed to be, and that's what ultimately was the difference in the ball game. And I do agree. Like, I think we were the better football team, while they were the more athletic team. And but when you're that way, you got to win through execution,
that's right.
And that's ultimately was the reason why we lost the game.
Yeah.
And see, that's the way you coach those kids up, because time after time, to your point, Brian, we see the lack of discipline. We see the unsportsmanlike conduct when the game starts getting kind of out of hand, or is kind of going back and forth, and that happens a lot. And that's a real testament to the coach and the coaching staff, just to keep them dialed in. So these seniors, right? You got Adam Land. He's going to Mississippi State. Right. Talk about some of the other guys as well. Where are they going to college, or some of the other guys getting a look? We want to shout them out as well. Yeah, we got, there's the mid-year signing day coming up December 3rd. We got 2 guys signing mission. Adam Land signed with Mississippi State. Carson Griffin is signing with Delaware. So, excellent. And then, hopefully we'll have some other guys for the February signing period as well that sign with the lower levels. But just the seniors that I'm just extremely proud of. Number one is Wyatt Fleming, just middle linebacker, 3-year starter, over 100 tackles every single year. I'd like to, not that there's any way we could find this out, but I'd like to think he's probably close to, or if not the all-time leading tackler at Mosley High School, just with the career that he had, and just a great high school football player, and comes from a football family, and just a hard worker. Another guy that probably a lot of people don't know about is a guy by the name of Demetrius Gillis. He started at corner for us this year, had a couple of interceptions. But the unique thing about him is, to me, like his story just defines what Mosley football is all about. Came in as a freshman, didn't play at all on the JV team, very minimal reps on JV. Last year as a junior, didn't play at all, but just kept working, kept getting better year after year. A lot of kids by that point in time would have quit and just said, hey, football's not for me. I'm never going to be a part of this. And then next thing you know, obviously, hits a growth spurt, gets bigger in the weight room, and started for us at corner this year, and just was, an instrumental player. Had some big ball games for us, had some big picks over the course of the year. And to me, that's what Mosley football is about. It's just, working behind the scenes, continuing to get better. Everybody's path to the varsity level is completely different. Yeah. There'll be some guys that start as sophomores as a great player and everybody knows about them, and there'll be guys that like D that just stick it out and just keep working and have a great senior year. And I hope it definitely, his work ethic means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to him, and it's just a testament to how hard he's worked, and also, gives hope for guys that are just like him in the program. Because I promise you, there's a lot more guys like Demetrius in our program than there are like Adam and Carson that are going to the D1 level. And gives those guys hope that, if I work my butt off, there will be a role for me, in this program. Yeah. And so did I see it correctly that Wyatt broke his helmet? Like that was his helmet? Yes. So he literally broke that thing, split right down the middle. I've never seen it happen before. And that just speaks to how hard that he was playing. Now, I will say, like, with these new modern helmets, they would probably say that, like, it's designed to do that on a hard hit. So just all that energy is, being dispersed through the helmet instead of, thankfully going into ultimately his brain. But yeah, that just, it was a really cool thing to see. And obviously he'll get to keep that helmet and, probably hanging on his shelf for the rest of his life. So not to look too deep into it, but obviously, you know, having pictures and all that on social media now, I think don't they have another Fleming kid that's going to be coming through the program probably eventually? I think
there's multiple Fleming kids that are coming. There's a lot of Flemings. There's multiple coming.
So there you go. You got more of those coming. So that'll be a good thing for you. So we talked about the seniors this year. Let's talk about that group that's coming back. I mean, you've got a lot of kids with a lot of experience, being able to go and play somewhere away like that, to get in that environment. I didn't really get to see the crowd as much. Was the crowd really a factor in the game, or not really?
It was kind of sad. It was like a JV football game, I would say. Mainland, you know, when I went and watched them the week before in their first round game, they had a massive band, like 300 members, loud, playing the entire time. For whatever reason, their band didn't show up. I would say their home side maybe had 150, 200 people.
Wow.
I would say Mosley probably had as many fans as they did there. And so, again, just not the greatest environment. You kind of had to bring your own energy, you know, to the game. But it was definitely a sad environment for a second round playoff.
No cowbells, or
no cowbells, nothing like that.
So I noticed that, you know, you guys had practiced at Publix. That ended up not being a big issue. Y'all didn't slip and slide too much. Everything looked like it was pretty clean.
No, I thought we did a great job handling that. Another thing we did when we got there is a bunch of, like, right when we got to the stadium, we went out, you know, probably about 2 hours before, and, you know, moved around on the field, let the guys get accustomed, try to figure out what cleats work best on that surface. And I thought the guys, you know, handled it well, had a lot of confidence. But yeah, just to answer your question before about guys we got coming back for next year's, I mean, I think it starts with JP, our quarterback, through, I want to say 35 touchdowns this season. I'd like to think that's the school record for most touchdowns in the season, you know. And then Sammy Chisholm, our running back, rushed for over 1,000 yards. He had 20 touchdowns on the ground.
Fantastic.
So that's a lot of firepower coming back just in two guys.
Stop for just a second. Jeff's not been able to see him live. How big is Sammy? Like, what's his metrics?
Sammy's 5'8", 5'9", 180 pounds, 185
runs behind his pads for sure.
Yeah.
So he looked great in the game.
Yeah, smaller back, but he can do a lot of different things. And again, for his size and stature, just extremely physical and hard runner, and has a great center of gravity. Really strong in his lower half, and you would think a guy like that would go down pretty easily, but consistently over the year took 3 or 4 or 5 guys to get him
bigger than him.
Can tackle. And seemed to always make the right cut too.
Yeah, he does great
football IQ.
Great vision. We got 3 or 4 guys coming back on the offensive line. Jamarcus Halstead. You know, he was kind of our number 2 receiver, and then when Adam went down, definitely picked up the slack. You know, ended up with 7 touchdowns on the year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we'll get Kingston Paul back. He's a D1 corner that's just a sophomore. You know, Kane Colbert started as a sophomore as the other inside linebacker, and I thought he just improved, dramatically from game 1 to game 11. Just continued to get better over the course of the season. Kingston Dawson, another sophomore, on the defensive line that's coming back, and then Cole Archambault, our leading sack leader, had 10 or 12 sacks on the year as a junior. So again, we got a lot of guys coming back. And then you see a guy like Khalil Lauderdale, the freshman, that gets thrown into the game because, Sammy got a little bit overheated, and we put Khalil out there and we throw him a check down, and as a freshman takes it 50 yards, versus on a field with some guys that got some real dudes on there, and he looked like a real dude as a freshman. So again, just excited about where we are as a program, the guys that we have in it, and take about a month off, and then we'll be back to work again in January, ready to do it all over again.
And that was the next question I was going to ask you. What does it look like? And see, like a lot of times, and this is something like that I personally love, is I like the behind the story, behind the scene, more than I do just like the general question. So that's why I dig sometimes a little bit, maybe too much, but I like it. So what does it look like now? So you say January. So what are we doing there? What are we going to start back doing?
So our guys, since spring practice, spring starts May 1st. from May 1st to last Friday night, our guys have only truly had 2 weeks off during that time. So they've been doing a lot of football from spring to summer to the fall. They need a break. They deserve a break. So from now to January 1, I don't want them doing anything. Just time off, rest, recover, go home, but now when we come back, when the break's over, it's time to go back to work. And the thing that's hard to get them to understand is, man, we got to start all the way back over at square one.
Yeah.
That you can't bring anything with you from this past football season. It's a new team. It's going to be new guys. This team's going to have a completely a different identity than the team from last year. And just because last year's team was mentally tough and hard-nosed and all of those things, like those teams, they built that over time from January, and this team's got to be able to do that as well. And that's just to me, that's the fun part of football, is just building that all the way up to the start of the season. Once the season gets here, you can marginally get better, but the chance where you can really just make up ground and really define who you are as a football team is during the off season. That's where the real work is done, and really fun part to be a part of.
So this team, you're going to be losing Adam and you're going to be losing Wyatt, which are two center pieces of the offense and the defense. So how does it work for Mosley? Do you nominate? Does the team vote? How do y'all do your captains and kind of like the leaders of the groups, going forward? How does that usually happen?
Yeah, so when we come back in January, we'll have 4 captains. I will pick 2, and the team will pick 2. So that's kind of the way we do it, and I think that's I definitely think it's a fair way to do it. I have guys that I'm going to lean on, but at the same time, I'm always curious to see who are the guys that they have the most confidence in, and I think for those guys to get picked by the team, I think that's a real honor, and that's a lot of expectations. These guys are expecting you to lead them, and it'll be a fun process, just defining what the expectations are, what we expect out of our leaders, but what we expect out of our team. Like, following is just as important as leading. And so. But again, all that stuff will get to work in January and be a fun process to be a part of.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome, is to see it all kind of come to fruition after you've watched and saw. So I'm gonna be curious. I'm gonna be coming over and being a part of some of that. I want to get some interviews with the kids and stuff like that. The last question before we take a break, we're up against a break. How do you tell a kid when it's over like this and it's that's it for them, and that it's they won't be playing football any longer, that was it? What is your message to those kind of kids? Because obviously everybody, it's easy to talk to the ones that's going to go to the next level, or at least go play somewhere else, or maybe they play basketball and they're going to do something with that, or baseball or something like that. But those kids that are that's been with you, maybe played a lot of football for you, and it's the end of the road, what's your message to them?
Well, first of all, that's the majority of your football team. A very small percentage are going to be able to go on to the next level. The sad part is we live in this world now where everybody thinks that they are going to, that are going to play college football. And I'd say the one thing that we definitely do at Mosley is we tell kids the truth. We're not going to, hey, you're 5'7", 150 pounds. You're not going to play for the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's not going to happen. And so the thing that we try to do more than anything is that we want the Mosley experience to be the best experience that it possibly can, that they feel like they're getting a college-like experience. And we do a great job of letting the kids know that, hey, man, this is probably going to be the end of the road for you, and let's enjoy this for as long as we possibly can. Let's try to make this last for as long as we possibly can. And that there's no greater experience than high school football. We get our guys that go off and play college football to come back and speak to the team, and every one of them says, man, if I could come back and play high school football, I would. Because when you get to that college, I mean, it's work. It's a real business now. They're paying you money, and there's real expectations that go along with that. And, we just, we want our kids to enjoy that and to cherish that. And again, it's hard to get a 15, 16, 17 to understand that. Yeah. They have no clue of what it's like until it's truly over. And, but again, all you can do is thank them, appreciate them for just their sacrifice, their time, their energy, their effort that they put into the program. And like I said, the seniors that there's a lot of tears that are shed after that last ball game, and from them and from myself as well, because again, you hurt for them because they want to keep playing, but you're definitely going to miss them.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's the exciting part about playing high school sports. That's why I think it's all, maybe it's not football, maybe it's basketball, maybe it's baseball, maybe it's other stuff. Play high school sports if you can, because it's a great experience in life. So either way, but when we come back, Coach is going to stick around with us. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with temps near 76 and a wind 8 to 12 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight and a temperature of 67. The same tomorrow around 77 with some clouds most of the day aside from a small chance of rain showers in the evening. Raining moderately Wednesday and hot around 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Keep the adventures going this holiday season in a new Kia from Billboard Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event. Billboard Kia is now offering 0.9% APR for up to 60 months plus $750 bonus cash on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 2025 Kia Telluride. You get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Countdown to savings is going on now, so drive away in a new Kia before the year ends and celebrate the season in style. Billboard Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. See us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillboardKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or VIN-specific new 2025 Telluride with $1,705 per month per 1,000 financed at 60 months. Quality's limited. $750 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billboard Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 12/1/25.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. The sports world is a battlefield of opinions.
Auburn's got a serious problem.
And every day, Paul Wilson brings the heat, the fire, and the definitive take.
They are not finding ways to get him the football.
Don't just follow the headlines.
But they lost 2 road games, and these 2 teams are ranked number 5 and number 6.
Be a part of the story on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Football. Don't forget tonight, Monday Night Football, Carolina at San Fran. Right after the show, kickoff is at 7:15. And if you want to be a part of the show, you can be as well. You can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. As early as we talked about, we've got Brian, Jeff, Coach Whidden in the house. Jimmy's doing the 1s and 2s. You guys, we got to talk about some of this breaking news that happened over the weekend concerning college football. UAB has a player that stabbed 2 of his teammates in the football facility. Just unbelievable. I mean, this kind of stuff is something that is just like, what in the world is going on? I don't know all of the details, but I was just shocked to find
waking up and reading that and seeing that really happened. Like I was just dumbfounded. Like realistically, you guys have all been there, Coach. You definitely, you got a lot of things that go on inside of a locker room, but stabbing each other shouldn't be one of them. Obviously, there's been times where you have probably tried to have kids push away from each other, whatever, split up or whatever, but stabbing. That's just nuts. What do you say?
Yeah, I thought it was a fake news story when I saw it.
Yeah.
There's no way this is real.
I would have thought that until the Baylor basketball issue about 15 years ago, where you actually had murders within the team. And that's when I was like, we're going to see it all now. But it kind of goes to the thing we talk about societally. I don't know how you say that.
There you go. Look at Brian making up words.
Exactly, making up words. But kids don't fight anymore. They take it to the next level. And I don't know if that's, the pressure they feel from social media about, all the ribbing that they take over it or whatever like that. But, in the old days, if you will, you'd have plenty of fights within a team.
Yeah.
You have them weekly and all like that. And sometimes, in a weird way, it's good to have that and get it out of your system. But now everybody goes to that next level. And that's how you end up with stabbings, and I guarantee you we're going to have shootings, and we're going to have all kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, you'd never think you'd have to have some kind of metal detector or have somebody have to, pat anybody down to go into.
And I don't know the details. It's probably over nothing. That's the thing it's never good, but a lot of times it's over nothing.
It used to be over a girl.
Not anymore. But
probably not.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. And then moving on, I hate to stay in the bad lanes here, but Nair Daniels for Georgia gets arrested. Crazy. So as I've read the story, his mother was pulled over on the side of the road after they had beaten Charlotte over the weekend. This happened in Commerce, Georgia. And so he saw his mom pulled over on the side of the road after she had ran a stop sign. And so he wanted to basically take the attention off of his mom. So he went by the officers doing 100 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone with his two nephews in his car with him. So the vehicle has some kids in the car with him, and speeds got up to 105, 108, I believe, of that. So the car chase, there was 10 charges, 2 or 3 of them felony charges with it, and Coach Smart was asked about it, and he said, obviously, I don't know everything about it, but he's no longer with the team, obviously. Man, just another one of those things where it's like, gosh, and I know Georgia kind of gets a bad rap, but you can't, as all these, you can't go home with them, you can't, go wherever, and now they're making money, so they got the cars that can go that fast and that kind of thing, so it's a sad situation. So, but either way, I want to talk about that, and then let's go ahead and dive into it. Mr. Chip Kelly, the highest paid coordinator in the NFL, gets let go yesterday, I think. So it was either early into the morning or yesterday. And I think I got it right. Yeah, he was the highest. He was at $9 million a year, somewhere around there, $8-9 million a year with the Las Vegas Raiders. And so let me ask you guys this. With that being said, are we looking at Chip Kelly's name going to be coming into the college football carousel for coaches now? Are we going to see Chip Kelly back in college football?
It's not if, it's where.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's my take.
I mean, it depends what he wants to do. You were kind of alluding to it, before the show. We were kind of talking about, Kiffin Circus and everything. And being a head coach of a college football program nowadays, it's not like it used to be. I mean, it is truly 365. Right. And, Chip Kelly's been through that. He's been through the NFL. He's been a coordinator in college. Now he went back to being a coordinator in the NFL. With the number of jobs that are open, he's certainly going to have opportunity if he wants it. I have no idea where he is on that train. He's, in his early 60s?
61.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him being a head coach, especially after what he was at UCLA and then stepped down to be the coordinator at Ohio State.
Yeah.
He already said he was kind of tired of the recruiting thing and what it was turning into of NIL, and I just couldn't see him wanting to hop back in that. Now, if he wanted to go somewhere as a coordinator, I could definitely see that, but head coach, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
young man's game.
Yeah. Well, it's like what you talked about, and even Kirby has talked about it. There's a lot of different things that you have to do now. You're managing money, you're managing kids, you're managing whether the recruits are going to stay connected to you or going to stay with you, and you got to keep checking up on them. I mean, I know they used to check up on them anyway, but like the way they have to now, it's silly. And then if you look at it, they just announced that the Ohio State Athletic Commission just announced that now the kids in Ohio can get paid for name, image, and likeness in high school. Mm-hmm. So they've opened that up for them as well, because Florida's open for that as well too,
correct,
right?
Yes.
And so do you see a lot of that right now or not?
No.
Down, is it down? Are they doing it more like in the farther south schools in Florida, or like the IMGs of the world, or no?
It's a extremely small sample size of guys that are getting that. From my understanding, it's the highly rated guys that they feel like have projectability to be potential first-round draft picks and things like that. And it's more so of like agents and people like that trying to get into those guys early. So then 4 or 5 years from now, when it's time for them to sign those contracts, they got a relationship already with those guys. Is kind of my understanding of how that's working with those level of players.
Let me ask you this. I just had the idea because I'd had it written down and I didn't get to ask you. So without getting into, I don't want to get into the conglomerate of what this topic has become, especially in Bay County. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to touch this, but do the kids themselves reach out when they're moving to the area, or are there more like moving into like what you're talking about, agents or people that speaking on behalf of the family to say if somebody's moving to the area and say they're moving to Lynn Haven just out of the blue, maybe a job or something like that, or a family member, or they got family here. Is that something that happens still? Without diving too deep, I don't want to get into it.
I mean, I can tell you exactly, if a player moves into the area and they reach out to me, they can go to the guidance office and let them know that they are a new student in Bay District schools.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's all. Yeah.
That's it.
That's right. Don't call Jeff. Don't call Coach Tommy Joe. You call the guidance counselor at the school. Because see, that's where it's like, man, it shouldn't be the football coach's job for this kind of stuff. And that's where I'm kind of going with the college. It shouldn't really be that way, but it is. And that's why these guys don't want to be. I think that's the whole reason why Coach Saban got out. I think his body was fine. He had just gotten his knees replaced or his hip replaced and all of those things. So I don't think anything like that. I think it was all about the way of having to do college football. We do have a caller on the line. We want to go ahead and go there. Hey, Ed, are you there with me?
Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yes. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's going on, y'all? Hey, man, I got some answers. I got some games I picked, by the way, for this week, if you don't mind.
Yes, I want to hear it.
Let's do it real quick, and I got some bonuses too. All right, so real fast. If I offend you, my bad. Sorry, not sorry. So I'm picking Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, Indiana, Ohio, Miami, Houston, Texas Tech, BYU, Oregon, and my bronze medal game of the week is Tennessee over Vanderbilt. My silver medal game is Texas A&M over Texas, and my gold medal game most about it.
Be careful.
Alabama over Auburn.
Okay, all right, there you go, Ed. I was hoping we weren't going to have to put you on a 1-week suspension from calling in.
For real, man. So Tennessee over Vanderbilt, that's my bronze game. Texas A&M over Texas, that's my silver game, and I'm picking Alabama to win the Iron Bowl against Auburn.
Well, we appreciate that, and I agree with you on some of that. I'm not sure. I'm kind of
I only heard one I'm not sure about.
That Vanderbilt
game.
Who y'all feeling? That Vanderbilt game.
So you didn't even mention LSU's playing Oklahoma.
I'm not anybody else. That one I'm sketchy about. That was the game.
Yeah, because that Western Kentucky boy, they're tough.
I'm not sold. Oregon's coming out of Washington with a victory.
Wow,
that's the game I would be watching.
Wow. We'll see. Well, Ed, I appreciate the call, Ed. We're bumped up against the break. We're going to have to go, but man, I appreciate you hanging tight with the Tide for sure.
Let's do it. Roll Tide all day, brother. Peace.
All right, man. Thank you, Ed. And when we come back, we're going to dive a little bit more into this college football season. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did what?
Live NFL and college football play here.
Unbelievable!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Toyotathon is on at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 1.99% APR on a new Camry and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 3.49% APR on a new Corolla and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 1.99% on a new Tacoma, plus $1,000 in holiday cash. And 1.99% on a new Tundra, plus you'll get $1,000 in holiday cash. Shake up your holidays at Toyotathon.
Offers expire December 1st. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. This is the Sports Blitz. We don't just talk sports. We start fires. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live and local right here in the CBC Construction Studio. We got a packed house in the house today, and we're excited about it. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We cannot not talk about it. I know that we've talked about it a bunch here. Lane Kiffin has announced.
No. We're not talking about them
yes,
anymore.
We are.
Nobody's ever talked about it.
What is it, 2 months?
He's announced that now they're going to talk and make the announcement after the Egg Bowl. So because you're so disgusted with it, you're going to get the first shake at this thing. So what do you think it means for Lane Kiffin doing this after the Egg Bowl?
Well, nothing, because he's staying in Oxford.
So you're still there. You're still there.
Yeah, well, I told you about my informed sources and all that in Baton Rouge, and, I still don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing. You make nothing about this whole announcement, none of this stuff.
No, he's just going to stay in Oxford.
Coach, what do you think?
I mean, I just hope for the sake of college football he stays in Oxford. I just, you've worked so hard. Obviously, you got a great team that has a chance to win it all, and then you're just going to walk away from that. I mean, if he decides to leave, I can't imagine they're going to let him coach the playoff, And so, again, I I think all of it's just a smokescreen to probably get whatever he wants out of Ole Miss. That's what I'm telling myself. And Ole Miss is going to give him the max to keep him in Oxford.
So do you think it had to deal with money, or do you think it was, do you think it's because these guys being ahead of these programs and at the highest level, the ego is more into it than being financial, because they're taking care of financial. Lane Kiffin does not have a money problem at all. But there is something to be said when you're the highest paid coach. You know what I mean? So that scratches an itch that maybe your ego wants you to have.
Right.
But what do you... Because what does he want? What else could he have except for more money to recruit
I think it has nothing to do for money for him. I mean, he's been paid millions of dollars for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I think it all has to do with just him getting the collective at Ole Miss, where he wants it. All of that, all the things that have to do directed to getting his players paid so that they can compete at the highest level, not only in the SEC, but with Ohio State and, whoever the big money people are across the country. If he stays, then to me, that's what all of this was about, just making sure that he can, have the leverage to get all of that aligned exactly the way he wants it aligned.
And you said you hope that he stays, but do you believe that he stays?
I mean, I'd like to believe he's going to stay. I mean, if he leaves, I would be extremely disappointed, and, obviously with all the, drama at LSU with the governor and, who knows what that situation, obviously they got rid of the AD. Now they got a new AD. You don't know exactly what that's going to look like. Florida hasn't been, relevant in a while. And, so, who knows?
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, Brian, what do you think?
Well, there's a lot to this, obviously. I thought before the AD statement, it was 99% he was staying. Because the only reason I could see him, I agree with Coach. I think I don't think it's going to be about his money. I know everyone says it's about his ego. I don't even think it's about that. I think the only reason he would leave right now, I think from a football perspective, it'd be somewhat lateral. You could argue LSU's fairly turnkey. I do think he has some structural things he would have to do at Florida to get them to where he is at Ole Miss right now. But there are some family considerations there that could be part of the conversation. And, we'll have to see on that. However, after the athletic director's statement, I'm down to like 70% he stays. I'm not sure. It was an awkward statement.
Yep.
But here's what I do believe. I think Lane Kiffin today knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I really don't think anyone else does. Maybe Jimmy Sexton. I don't think LSU knows, and I don't think Florida knows, and I don't think Ole Miss knows for sure. Because if they did, we'd have more concrete stuff. Nobody can keep a damn secret anymore. So if you're asking me if I'm laying any money down today, I still think he stays at LSU, but I'm afraid what's clouding that is, from my mind, if you're looking at it as a football move, I don't see why you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, one other thing that I would like to think that would keep him there is in building a football team and building a culture of a football team. That is really hard to do.
Yeah.
And then it appears he's got Ole Miss into some version of where he wants it to be.
Yeah.
And then to walk away from it, there's no guarantees that you can recreate that somewhere else, because as much turnover there is with the portal and recruiting, finding you a quarterback, or, like he's got a great quarterback that, that seems it's going to be there for, for a couple more years. Again, there's just so much uncertainty. When you have a certain thing, it's really hard to walk away from.
Especially when you've finally gotten them to what you've been working towards. We all know coaches they're guys who build a program, they don't have to see it through. That's what they love, is bringing it up and then they move on. That's not Lane. He built this up for the purpose of getting to that playoff and competing for national championships. You don't get right there, make your play, and I know I'm assuming a win over my Bulldogs here, but you don't get right there and then walk away from it the first chance you go. That's what I mean about I
It doesn't make sense.
I know, and everything, we've talked about this off air.
Yeah.
If you watch, by the way, that documentary on how things fell apart at USC, first of all, Kiffin's about the most honest coach there is out there. He'll tell you. If you really listen to him, you understand what is important to him now is a level of control and trust in his department. You can tell how much that means to him after what happened to him at USC. He has that at Ole Miss. I'm not sure he has that, certainly not right away at either of the others. Yes, you're the belle of the ball and everybody's, throwing everything at you, but you don't have the level of control that he has at Ole Miss. And that means something to a lot of coaches. So that's why I'm just having a hard time believing he will go, but we've seen crazier things.
Did you have any more? Because you were pretty passionate.
Yeah, no. I think you keep on equating the ego with the money. You need to equate the ego with the success. And I think that the disadvantage of going to LSU or Florida is it's a type of athlete that you have. And there's certain athletes at both of those schools that have less disciplined character. Let's just put it like that. You know how like Urban Meyer had problems with the character of some of the Gators? That's at LSU too.
Yeah.
And at Ole Miss, it's like they have better intentions and they don't act out as, I don't want to use any bad words about the type of character that's better at Ole Miss. But the thing is that LSU in Florida, they have so much talent and they can bring in so much talent. They're sitting at the doorstep of athletes. And it's so easier to recruit there. But I just think that he's settled in his ways at Ole Miss, and where he's going with the program, he hasn't gotten there yet, and he feels like his job's not completely done yet.
You know what's interesting? You love to bang on the differences in college football now and the things about it we don't like. How neat is it that we're at a point where 20 years ago, if he wants to compete for a national championship, he can't stay at Ole Miss. He's got to go to Florida, or he's got to go to LSU, or he's got to go to one of those programs. That isn't the case anymore. That may be the one good thing that we have right now is Lane Kiffin can actually look at this and go, I have every bit the same opportunity to win a national championship at Ole Miss as I would at either of these other schools.
And I think now in the SEC with the NIL and collective, everybody has talent. Everybody has great first-round draft picks across the board, whether that's Alabama or whether that's Vanderbilt. To me, the one position that just separates every team in the SEC is a quarterback.
That's right.
That if you have a good quarterback on an SEC roster, you're probably going to have a good football team. I think like Vandy is a testament to that. Vandy probably doesn't have the best roster, but they definitely don't have the worst roster. But you insert a really good quarterback, and now you got a good football team. And so that just makes it, to me, in the SEC, you can win at any of the schools, as long as you got a really good quarterback.
Yeah, and if you look at it, every team in the SEC that is struggling at the quarterback position, Kentucky,
Florida,
South Carolina, all those guys, they had trouble.
And look at what Kiffin's done better than just about anybody in the portal era. Everybody goes and gets that one, or most do. Auburn hadn't figured that out yet. Everybody goes and gets that one, but getting the second one. When Jackson Dart was at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin somehow pulled Spencer Sanders in, who'd been a 3-year starter at Oklahoma State, had been good, to come in and be the backup. Look what happened this year. Chambliss was not who he was starting the season with. He was starting the season with Austin Simmons. But he gets a Trinidad Chambliss to come in and can walk into the job when needed. He's really good at getting that second guy to buy in and be ready to go, which is the bane of a lot of programs. When your starter goes down, if that next guy's not ready to step in and shoulder the load, you're in real trouble.
Well, and I think with that deal specifically, I think he's hit lightning in a bottle with Trinidad Chambliss. I don't think I don't know if there's any other second guy that's going to be that good, that ready right now. I mean, being a national champion at the other level that they call JUCO now, I mean, realistically, Trinidad Chambliss is as good a quarterback, and I know he's not getting all the New York stuff where he's going to go for the Heisman, but he's as good as if you put Trinidad Chambliss on any of the other teams. I think all of the other teams are just as successful with him or possibly better because of what he can do with running and throwing the football, and that's the deal.
I think so much of that is Lane, though. I think he's great at getting him to buy into being a part of the process. And he's great about understanding that all of these quarterbacks are important to us versus just QB1.
Yeah.
And maybe that goes on more coach to athlete than, we see it looking from the outside in, but he seems to do it better than just about anybody out there.
And I mean, you look at Simmons, though, with that second part of it all, he's very cerebral, very smart, he's a double major, all of those things, already graduated, going for a second degree. And so he can do it, but it seemed harder. It did seem harder because, like, when he went out in the second half against Kentucky and then with the ankle, and then he was over there able to run, and it was like Kiffin was like, no, I got what we're going to do. That part to me was coaching. The second part is the next game he started Chambliss, and Simmons was okay to go like a normal quarterback would be, the starter. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know. And let me answer my little quickness about this whole deal. I just wonder if with it, and I get what everybody's saying at the table, but I think there's a possibility that this could possibly be the best that Lane Kiffin has, this team here. I don't know if bringing more money is going to bring the people to Ole Miss, to Oxford, because don't forget.
More money, more problems.
I understand, but if you look at it, he's been begging the fans to show up, even with the big games. And
Nick used to do that.
No, he wants them to stay. Nick said don't come to him. He wanted them to stay. We were winning by 45 at that point.
Him to come in.
Yeah, but I mean, he's asking them to pack it out. All right. It's week in, week out.
So here's the scenario you haven't considered there, Bama shirt. Here's the one you haven't considered, because we keep hearing this now. This is the new little sexy rumor.
Mm-hmm.
What if Kalen DeBoer is going to Penn State and Lane Kiffin's the new head coach in Tuscaloosa?
Good possibility.
First, it ain't never going to happen, but I would love it to happen, but it ain't never.
Good possibility. Either way, we're going to have to take our next break, and when we come back, I do have a crazy one that I want to tell you. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T studio line, 850-215-6290. The game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with temps near 76 and a wind 8 to 12 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight and a temperature of 67. The same tomorrow around 77 with some clouds most of the day aside from a small chance of rain showers in the evening. Raining moderately Wednesday and hot around 74. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Mentorship might sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. Just showing up can spark confidence and connection in a child's life. Right now, more than 300 kids in Northwest Florida are waiting for a mentor. Be the one who makes a difference. Call 850-433-KIDS or visit BeTheBig.org to get started.
Lynn Haven, WVLQ, Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida airs the biggest games of the week from the SEC, ACC, and beyond. If it matters in college football, it's on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Yes, sir. It is 5 o'clock on a Monday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for Monday Night Football. Carolina is San Fran tonight, 6 o'clock right after the show, and then kickoff is at 7:15. Don't want to miss that one. That's going to be a doozy tonight. Also, don't forget, if you want to call in and be a part of the show, you can call the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. As always, Brian is in the building, Jeffrey's in the building, James is in the building, and special guest Coach Tommy Joe Whidden's here with us as well. You know, how crazy has all of this been with Lane Kiffin? But let me ask you this. What in the world would all of us do if on that Saturday after they beat Mississippi State?
Probably will.
Lane Kiffin says, I want to go be with my boy in New York. I'm going to be the head football coach for the New York Giants with Jackson Dart. And, you know, Joe Judge is taking over. So basically, Joe Judge used to be the coach in New York. So we're just basically going to swap places and give me Lane Kiffin going to the Giants. Coach Whidden, what do you think about that one?
Of all the scenarios, that's the one that makes the most sense to me. You know, you hear it so much from the college coaches that they're just tired of this NIL of just with no guardrails and just everything's out of control, and you may have a player and he could be gone from your team, you know, the next year, and you've done nothing wrong, that he's just got more money or a better opportunity somewhere else. And to where you go to the NFL now, you have a lot better, you know, calendar, a lot better schedule, a lot better, you know, summer times off. Yep. And then also, too, players are under contracts. Guys can't just get up and bolt and leave your team for whatever reason possible. So to me, of all the scenarios, that one seems to be would make the most sense to me.
Can social media handle Lane Kiffin in New York? Jeffrey, you were shaking your head when I was saying all of this. What do you think about it? Come on, give it to me.
No, I don't think it's happening. And it's not that New York can take him. Is that can he take the New York media? Because they're unscrupulous, man. They will pick you apart. I mean, this is like next level as far as media goes.
Yeah, but I would say after working for Coach Saban,
oh yeah,
like,
he can handle
he
that.
can handle anything. That'd be nothing.
He can definitely handle it.
He is pretty quick-witted, though. You have to admit.
Yeah,
Lane can shoot from the hip.
In a way, I think he'd thrive in New York. But you know, did we ever think we'd reach a point where being a head coach of an NFL program, you have more control over your players than a college head coach does?
Yeah,
because we may be at that point nowadays. Because they're in, you know, collectively bargained, you know, structure, and it's not just they can do whatever they want whenever they want it. So
I think the biggest part is, for me, I'm believing what you guys are saying, but I also believe that it's about what money Ole Miss is willing to give them for the players, because obviously they've got to level the playing field, because it's $70 million in difference from Florida to Ole Miss.
And when you look at all that, I mean, because facilities are facilities. Kids, they like stuff, don't get me wrong, but they like the money in their pockets more than they like having a swimming pool that they all can get in after the game or for treatment.
But none of us really know what's there because, I mean, I've seen 8 different reports that actually have Ole Miss in the top 3 in the conference in NIL. But the problem is how much of that is the trackable collectives and how much of that is the external. I mean, bottom line is this. Stuff is still going on outside the area of the rules. We all know it is. So I don't know that there's that big a gulf because everything that I see shows me that Ole Miss is actually one of the better NIL schools right now. Now, could that keep up? I don't know. But I don't see them at a major disadvantage the way a lot of people seem to think.
I think just being like what whoever said was ready for the big time right then. Obviously, you got a culture change. You got stuff you got to bring in. And I believe that, you know, we talked about the chancellor that was speaking today, and he was talking about how great the assistant coaches were, and he really was pouring it on, and that made me really still hold my stance on that he's going to Florida, because why else? Because usually they don't talk about the assistant coaches, and the way that he was discussing them and talking about how that, you know, the assistant coaches was the lifeline to the players, that they're there, they're involved with them, they're always right there by them, they know exactly what's going on. And I get it, that's a good, you know, way to run your organization, because you can't be everywhere at every time. And so, but with that being said, it just seems like that's the writing on the wall, the handwriting's on the wall. And I think we do have a call. We're going to go to the 7T's red line right now. Hello, Arnold, are you there?
I am. I was just Saturday. I watched the game between Tennessee and Florida, and you know, in the third quarter, Florida looked so bad that you'd think Heupel was on the Florida sideline calling the plays that he knew he could defend. But the thing about it is, his fans, I mean, their fans were still there to the very end. I mean, they were still hollering loud when they was on defense and quiet on offense. I could not believe it. I'm thinking, man, if Kiffin goes there, he'd be doing good. Now, you got to get all that junk off of there that was left by Mullen, left by Spurrier, left by that old boy out of Ohio State. I don't even like him. But anyway, you got to get all that junk off of that team. Myers, that's right. Left him in the Myers. But anyway, Kiffin, I don't think he'd do good in the pros because, you know, Spurrier tried it, and he'd have a big old lineman up there, about a 400-pounder, and he'd get mad because he missed his block, and he'd say, hey, buddy, give me a lap around the field. And instead of him saying, Coach Spurrier, he would say, Steve, my contract says I don't have to run. And that's about all I got to say.
I appreciate
Have a great day, man.
Yes, sir. You too. You know, and that's where, you know, there is a big difference. I think, you know, kind of alluding back to what we were talking about, the way you run your organization now. I mean, just like you right now, you're not running your organization like it's a high school football program. You're trying to run it like it's a college organization, in the fact of trusting your coaches, and it's, you know, and you could share how it's changed back when you were first playing to now, because coaches it's got to change, because you got to be able to love on the kids, but you can't do it all.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, I'd say the biggest change in high school from when I played to now is when I was in high school, you had to go to school where you were zoned to go to school. Yeah. And especially in Florida, it's very similar to college football. Like, you have to go out of your way to create relationships with your players, you know, that make them want to be. They see value in the program because what your program's able to provide for them, and the relationships definitely matter. And and again, those things are hard, those things are hard to do, you know, and obviously winning and success plays into all of that as well. And again, like, you work so hard to get it to a spot that you feel like is a good place, and people are happy, and people are happy about the program. They're happy about the direction of the program and the way you're coaching the kids. And, you know, you're seeing them develop. You're seeing guys getting better, and you work so hard. I feel it's taken Mosley football 5 years to get it to this place. Yeah. And then you put so much time, energy, and effort, and you're just, you're going to walk away from that, and especially for him, it can't be the money because, again, he has so much, what amount of money is going to make you happy? I think what's making him happy is the ability to win and to be able to build a program the way that he wants to truly build that program. And I think that's what he's really trying to leverage is getting Ole Miss, whatever the little things that aren't right for him, he is trying to, get those out of Ole Miss.
Yeah.
It's so... I think the hardest thing in all of this from everybody, ourselves included, national media, fans, everything, is we're approaching it from what would be important to me. Right. We don't know. I don't want to go too far down this road, but, Coach, it wasn't that long ago. Everybody was projecting on what you might do, and you had opportunities for this, that, and the other. And what ended up being important to you at that time of making that decision was staying with what you had built and everything like that, when a lot of people were sure they knew you were going to go over here or over there or whatever. So we never truly know what it is that coach is important to them and to their family at that time. And, the one thing I feel good about with Lane Kiffin now versus Lane Kiffin 15 years ago, I think he's matured enough in his own life that I think he's truly going to make the decision that means the most to him and his family setting, whereas I do think he might have been chasing, some of the external stuff early in his career. Look, a lot of stuff got heaped on him very young. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was a head NFL coach at 31.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
That doesn't happen very often. I mean, a little more now than it used to, but, I mean, he has certainly matured significantly. Now, those who read Twitter might differ on that, but I think he's in total control of what he's doing. And I think in about a week, we're going to find out exactly what was most important to him.
Yeah, that he was having fun with social media.
Maybe.
That's what's important to him.
But I think that's what's driving the media crazy is they don't know, and he's not going to tell them.
No, because that's part of the game.
Yeah. We've never seen this large of an audience for a coach moving from team or staying with a team. We've never seen it. And we've had the greatest coaches, like even the
I think we've seen it. It hasn't lasted this long.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not been this big because, like, when Spurrier went to Washington, it was a big story, but, it was like, okay. And then when Urban went to Ohio State, it was a big story. But, I mean,
Saban went to the Dolphins.
Saban went to the Dolphins, come back to Alabama.
Well, and that's what I said. We could have the Tommy Tuberville line. You're going to have to carry me out of here in a pine box. And he was gone 48 hours later.
Right.
Not in a pine box, by the way. But the whole thing is just, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's crazy that everybody is so nuts over it. The only thing, and Coach, you might be able to speak to this, there has been that thought through the years that it's kind of a moving, treadmill, if you will, and if you get off of it, the advancement can stop. The one thing in Lane Kiffin's mind may be he was clearly courted for the Auburn job a couple of years ago. Decided not to take that, stayed where he was. If he passes on these opportunities here, does there start to become this notion that he's not moving on and he's no longer kind of the belle of the ball? I don't know that it is that way, but I remember P.J. Fleck was a huge name. Every time a job came open, he stayed put. No one's really talking about him anymore. Matt Campbell is getting a little of that too. Maybe he's worried if I don't make a move now, there'll never be another move. I don't think that's it, but that'd be the only thing I could reach to. It's just that notion of you have to be advancing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't think I think he's kind of past that point in his career. He's had a track record of success. People know that he's a great coach, and whether he takes a job this cycle or the next, I don't think my personal opinion, I don't think that really changes a lot because of just the track record of success. Now, will there ever be an opportunity for these two high caliber of jobs ever to be open again? I mean, that's probably, slim to none, but, again, like that's the hard part. You don't know what his why is, or and that's the hard. Everybody is struggling. They're trying to figure out, what he knows in the back of his mind.
We're trying to project our why.
Yeah. And he's been masterful in this. He's built this narrative, and he's allowed us, because we're not the only ones talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. That's why we're talking about it. But like, just to see that he's 50 years old. And, I'm going to say something that you guys may or may not agree with, but I don't think that whether he stays or goes, this is probably not going to be the last time we see him change teams, to be honest. I mean, because 50 years old for a head football coach in college is young. It still is young. And I don't think it's not. I think he's going to. I really believe with all my heart eventually, and I was just joking earlier about the Jackson Dart in New York, even though that's a good option. For me, I think he's going to Florida, but I do think he's going to throw his name in the hat again for the NFL. I do believe that he wants to be, he wants to do what the others couldn't do. Saban couldn't do it. Spurrier couldn't do it. A lot of the others couldn't do it. Urban Meyer didn't do it. Lou Holtz didn't do it. As far as being and going and being a really good football coach, taking them to the playoffs, winning football games, and possibly playing for a championship that came from that college level like that.
Yeah,
so
Carroll and Harbaugh are definitely the anomalies.
Yeah, they're the unicorns of the bunch.
Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, those three. Yeah, because, that's really, you don't really see that. And so I think he wants to add his name to some of that. So whether he jumps to Florida or LSU. But let's talk about the LSU point for a second. It's been talked about, said that it's an offer that's been on the table that's been said. Now, again, a lot of this stuff could be, a little bit of rumors, or it could be legitimate. 7 years, $90 million. When you hear that number as an LSU fan, what are you thinking right there?
Well, I think 12.9. I do the math. And then, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, he's got that Florida thing going on where that's where he's, his family
makes more sense. So that is another question. Do you, if it was LSU, if it was between LSU and Florida, where do you say he goes?
Where do I say he goes?
Yeah, if he did leave Ole Miss, I know you said he's not. Would it be, you think he's taking LSU or Florida the second shot?
I think Florida's a bigger dumpster fire than LSU is, to be honest with you. I hate to, it's hard to not be biased. It's hard to not be biased in this situation. And for him, I think it's Florida.
Yeah. So if he doesn't stay at Ole Miss and he does leave, you're Florida. What about you, Coach?
So when I hear those numbers, this is where my mind goes, is like, what's the buyout? That's what I like. Don't put yourself in a Florida State situation, which I know the finances at LSU are completely different than what they are at FSU, completely different universes. But can we trap ourselves into a situation that we can't get out of? And the other thing is what's the financial commitment to the roster? Don't get me wrong, the coach is important, but at the end of the day, the games are won by the players.
Right.
And to me, it's like whatever dollars that we're putting at the head coach, some portion of that could be going to the players, and you can't lose sight of that, and so that's where my, that's a big dollar amount, and it's going to attract obviously a really good head coach, but what is the amount that's going to go to the players? You know,
it's been amazing how quiet Governor Landry's been ever since everything. True. I mean, look,
Jeff called him.
I guarantee you, people got in his ear and said, "You got to stop."
Yeah,
and they have. I think that's interesting that 7 years and not 10, because that would be, he'd have a lot of egg on his face if they were offering him 10. The thing that's so interesting to me in this cycle of coaching changes is clearly nobody knows what Lane's doing, because we're not hearing other strong candidates for any of these jobs. I still haven't heard anything out of Penn State substantive. You originally, when the Florida thing came up, as well, we want Lane, but maybe it's Gruden or maybe it's Drinkwitz. You're not hearing anything else other than Lane. LSU, we've thought Joe Brady.
Yeah.
Nobody's been talking about anybody other than Lane Kiffin at LSU right now.
Well, there's
I mean, maybe it'll start to come out as the week goes on, but it's really interesting to me we're not hearing other candidates. It's clear everybody's waiting for this first domino to fall. But you would think you better have things lined up. Rivalry weekends this weekend.
Yes,
people want to move quickly. So I'm a little surprised we haven't heard much in terms of if this doesn't work out,
right,
here's where I think they're going.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a real curious thing. Like once this thing gets announced, two people are going to be having to be shifting gears real fast.
Yeah.
And I'm real curious to see just what direction the other two schools go in.
Yeah, because that's going to be really, if he does go, now you've got an opening at Ole Miss, and wherever he goes, and if he was to go to the NFL, which would be crazy, but if he did, then you'd have three top-notch SEC schools ready to go. And that's the bigger picture to me. I'm just thinking, gosh, and everybody keeps talking about Summerall, but Summerall, to me, is still going to be, because he's a Kentucky guy. And don't forget, Stoops won some games, but I think Kentucky there might be an opportunity for Kentucky to open this position as well. I'm just saying, just another little tidbit there before we take a break.
It's not as big of a shock as what Cal Berkeley did today.
That is true.
Because
that was surprising.
Because 6-5 at Cal Berkeley is not bad.
No, not at all.
And I don't know if you know this. What's that?
3 years in a row, bowl eligible at Cal.
And I'll let you guess, what's the one athletic program in the nation that is the most in the red of all the universities in the nation? It's Cal Berkeley. Yeah. And to let somebody go and have to pay them, I mean, what, do they not take finance at Cal Berkeley?
I don't know. But either way, we're going to leave it right there. When we come back, we are going to have the PCB Hobby Takeover. You're listening to Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone service.
The Red 70 studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your college football headquarters for the biggest and best games of the week.
It's a touchdown!
Huge rivalries and your favorite teams in the SEC, ACC, and beyond.
It's a miracle!
The Gators, Hurricanes, LSU, Georgia, Auburn, and Notre Dame play here.
Unbelievable!
The Gulf Coast headquarters for college football is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday evening. As we head into tonight, slight fog and a low of 67 with a light breeze coming out of the south-southeast around 7 miles per hour. For tomorrow morning, a mixture of some clouds and slight fog and a temp near 76. In the afternoon and evening, lightly sprinkling and partly cloudy and a high around 77. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
The wait is over. Sunday, December 7th, your Jacksonville Jaguars return to Everbank Stadium for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. This is more than just a game. It's a statement. Touchdown, Jacksonville! The Jags are back home and ready to turn up the heat in their iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff is 1 p.m., so pack the bank and make it loud. Secure your seats now at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Janice, Irene, and the staff at that boot store are so thankful for their many customers and friends. God has been so good. Remember, we live in the greatest country on earth, and God has supplied with an abundance of blessings for all to receive. Thank you again for making that boot store the place to shop for Western wear, from the youngest to the oldest. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Next to Billboard Kia, 15th Street, Panama City, where God is good all the time.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates. Keeping you in the game. The new Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We are live here, local in the CBC Construction Studio in the Panhandle on this beautiful day in Panama City Beach, Florida. And as always, on a Monday at 5:20, we've got the professor, the doctor, the world traveler, the everything above, the captain. Todd, how you doing today, my friend?
Happy Monday, everybody. How we doing?
We're doing fantastic. You've been gone for a little while.
Yeah,
put some miles on the airwaves.
I did. I was in South Florida last Monday on my way back. Picked up a comic book collection and was doing all kinds of craziness. Anyways, I was in Orlando for a little bit. Was in Boca Raton. Just traveling around doing all kinds of stuff. And then, of course, a team of us, we got back, and then Bill and a team went up on Thursday to New Jersey, the New Jersey Collecticon up there, and did comics and TCGs. And it was a monster weekend. We were hosting the eBay booth, and we were right in the front, right when you walked in the door, very first people there. And it was crazy. Busy lines out the door. Nuts. Selling cards, streaming, doing everything. So it was really good. They had a good time. They're on their way back. They should be back tonight, here in a few hours. And they'll unload, and we'll have tons of new stuff for the stream, for the TCG stream. We even picked up some comic collections, so that was kind of cool up there as well. And, so we have a lot going on. Now, I want to tell everybody this week we are going to be closed Wednesday and Thursday. So both Wednesday and Thursday at retail, we will be closed. So don't come up there on Wednesday and be like, they're always open. You're right. They didn't ask me this year. Because they would have asked me, I would have said you'd be working. You'd be working. But they didn't ask. They just did it. So everybody knows we are closed Wednesday and Thursday. So please do not show up and expect us to be open because we're not. Now, next day, Black Friday, is going to be monster.
Okay.
We have there's so much going on. I don't even know the extent of what we have going on, but I know it's big. Yeah. Brian probably knows more than I know about it, so he'll probably talk about that. And then we'll also talk about, what products are coming out, if any, coming up. But other than that, we've been really busy. We got back from the Coin Show 2 weekends ago. That was massive as well. So we have tons of new inventory for that. We have all kinds of special streams we're doing. Friday, Black Friday stream for coins. We actually have some major stuff that eBay sent us. And so we're partnered with eBay, and we're going to have a show push and everything. So there'll be hundreds of people in the room, and we'll be auctioning off all kinds of really cool silver and gold stuff that we got for that show. So that's going to be a massive show. And then we're actually gonna stream on Thanksgiving. So the guys are gonna be streaming normal coins Thanksgiving Day. Devin, Nick, and Michael. Then Bill and I will be streaming comic books. Ethan will be streaming TCG. So we will be streaming that day. So if you have nothing better to do, you're tired of the family, whatever, come on the stream and take a look and see what we're doing. But we're doing a special Hulk stream, Incredible Hulk. Comic book stream on Friday morning starting at 6 a.m. We are doing number 400 and down. That means issue number 400 all the way down to issue 1.
Wow.
Let me give you a clue. Issue 1's like 10 grand. So it's everything in between.
Wow.
400 and down. That's going to be all day. Starting at 6, I'm going to run the first shift 6 to 12, and then Big Kern's going to do 12 to 6 and finish it off 200 and down. So it's going to be amazing. And then Slabtastic Saturday, we are going to run only slabs and slabs only. That's CGC graded comic books only that day. And during the day, at some point, we are going to run an Amazing Spider-Man 1 in a 2.0. Wow. Again, another $8,000 book, but we're going to $3 and go it. So what it goes for, it goes for.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So a lot of really cool stuff on the stream going on. Like I said, we just loaded up at Collecticon, so we have TCG stuff that's crazy. We have packs that are $1,000 packs. We have craziness. There's just so much craziness going on. Like I can't even keep up. And then next week we are traveling to the Tokyo Comic-Con. I said it, Japan. We are going to Japan, a team of us.
Wow.
And we're bringing Frank Miller.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frank Miller's going to be sitting at our table doing signings, the whole thing. And we have a bunch of exclusives. We did comic book exclusives. So it's going to be off the chain.
Explain who Frank Miller is for
Frank
the people.
Miller, if you don't know of the movie 300 and Sin City. And then, of course, the comic book artist that he was known for Daredevil and Batman. He is iconic, huge success. And he's actually come to our installation and streamed one time and did a signing with us. And he is now going to go to Japan and be rubbing elbows with us. And Jim Lee. So if you know anything about comic books, you've heard of Jim Lee and Frank Miller. I mean, they're like two. In fact, Jim Lee is editor-in-chief at DC Comics.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's not only an artist, but he's a big dog.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be there. CB Sobalski's going to be there, which is the editor-in-chief of Marvel. So we're going to be rubbing elbows with lots of big people. It's going to be massive and amazing. So we're doing that next week. I will be here Monday, though. I should be. So I'll be here to let you guys know again that we're going. And then we'll not be back the next Monday. I will still be in Japan. But it's going to be amazing. So we got all that going on. As far as the shop goes, I'm going to turn it over to Brian and hear what's up.
Well, for those of you wondering, I will not be making the trip to Tokyo. And the reason I was given was the phrase international incident.
Yeah.
So I won't be going.
We also tabled as a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if maybe there was a job opening like to carry the briefcase.
Yeah, there you go.
In Japan, because I've never been to Japan. I mean, I could possibly, do that.
I hear you, Paul. You're up, Brian.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
I will tell you, for those of you on Thanksgiving Day, if you've never seen a stream with Bill and Todd streaming together, highly entertaining, a lot of fun. You do need to check that out.
Yeah, we're going to do some stupid stuff.
Yeah,
we always
it's
do.
a lot of fun. Really cool stuff. Sports-wise, there's not a whole lot of new stuff releasing this week. I don't think they want to get caught up in the holiday. A lot of that we'll pick up in December, stuff we talked about. Chrome Basketball will be coming soon. That's going to be a monster product. Chrome Update Baseball is, I believe, the 12th or the 10th of December, so that'll be coming. But Todd hinted at it earlier. Black Friday is going to be huge at the shop. Going to be opening at 10 a.m., just like we always do. Doorbusters all day. 20% off all soccer, combat. So that's going to be UFC, wrestling, all of that, hockey products, all of that. Other deals on stuff going all day long, giveaways. There's going to be so many things I can't even remember them all.
I think in the comic side, I want to say we're doing either 50% off all slabs or buy one get one.
Yeah, like it's
of equal or less, or of lesser value.
There's deals in every department. It's going to be all day long. It's going to be by far our biggest Black Friday ever. We're definitely lined up and ready to go with that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to have deals for Cyber Monday on the streams and things like that. So stuff going on all through the weekend. Make sure you get out there. We do have a lot of people who come in vacation here for Thanksgiving. So make sure that you come out early and do that, because they're going to be joining us. In fact, they're already in this week, and there were a lot of vacationers in today. So make sure you come out for that. But when I say it's by far the biggest one we've ever run, I'm not kidding. It's going to be unbelievable. To echo on something we've talked about for the last 2 weeks, the Topps Chrome MVP buyback program in baseball is going through the roof. Now, we highlighted that last time, where you can utilize that buyback credit for anything in our shop, and a lot of people have been taking advantage of that. We had a guy come in from Port St. Joe over the weekend, cashing like $700 worth of buybacks, and got a bunch of cool stuff across multiple areas of our shop. So a lot of great stuff going on. You know, people buying cool singles that we're picking up. We actually had a kid come in today. I say kid, everybody's a kid to me, but opened up a 2023-24 Topps Chrome Hobby Box. This was Victor Wembanyama's rookie year.
Oh, yeah.
Victor Wembanyama rookie autograph.
No.
Ripped it right in the shop. Unbelievable.
Wow. How much is that really card worth around about?
Raw, probably don't know off the top of my head, but if it's not 1,000, it's approaching it.
Right at 1,000.
Yeah, and it could be. I mean, I haven't seen that one in a while, because like I said, it's a lot of people have moved on to the newer years. Everybody chasing Cooper Flag now. It's like, Victor who? He's what, 22? He's old.
Yeah.
But no, it's really cool. So a lot of fun stuff going in the shop. We've been buying a lot, as Todd said, both at shows and in the shop. So we have a lot of new inventory there just in time for Black Friday. So make sure you come check it out. 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway there, right next to Florida Linen.
Let me ask you a question. So with the buyback going on, do you still have the boxes that you can buy and rip?
Yeah, 100%.
And then if you open...
Yes.
that card.
And
or
in
those
fact,
two cards.
one of the things that's been difficult in years past is we might run out of the, let's say, more widely affordable, the blasters. And then we'd only have the jumbo boxes. Jumbo boxes are awesome. You get more chances at them, but they're not in everybody's price point. Right now, we currently have every level of Topps Chrome product, all the way down to the $40 blasters. So, yes, it's still available. And that program goes through the end of January.
Okay,
so there is plenty of time.
What's the prices, just so you can kind of give us an idea?
Well, like for example, what's called a base cards, the simple, not the refractor, shiny, not numbered or anything, just the base level Shohei Ohtani or base level Aaron Judge card. Normally, that'd be maybe $1 card, maybe $2 if you're lucky. It's worth $20 in buyback credit that you can use anywhere in our shop.
That's right.
I mean, it's one of the few programs I've ever seen where everybody wins.
Yeah.
The customer wins because they're getting way more value than they ever would for a card like that. The shops win because it's driving business to us, and the enjoyment of everybody involved goes up. And Topps wins because they're taking these cards in. They're going to stamp them, number stamp them, and put them in next year's product.
Right. Wow.
As chase cards.
Right. Probably get some of them autographed.
That's right.
There's going to be some craziness.
Everybody wins in this deal.
So really, when you look at it from now what if they're not honoring the buyback for the year before? It's already ended.
That one's already
closed. The signed or the stamped one from the year before.
You can pull in this year's Topps Chrome,
which is not
chasing the new
which is not a buyback. That one's not a buyback.
Well, ironically enough,
unless he did
last
it in 2
year
years,
they did it with Ohtani. This year, both of them are repeat.
they?
So it
How
looks
much?
like it's huge.
I was going to say it's got to be like $500.
I'll give you an example. One of the Otanis last year, I think it was numbered to 99, was worth $600
Yeah, I was
in
gonna say,
buyback credit.
Oh wow!
I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
it's one of those few things where like everybody wins. It's such a good program that they do.
Yeah,
so
it's
we
awesome.
love it.
And you're expecting them to eventually do the same thing with basketball.
Oh, they're definitely going
they're going to do that. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be specifically tied to MVP in every sport, but I think it will.
They'll figure something out.
And to be honest, it's easier in football and basketball. They almost had an issue this year in baseball, and here's why. Cal Raleigh did not have a base card in Topps Chrome.
Oh.
So if he would have won, now they came out, he's going to be in Topps Chrome update which comes out, and they would have honored it that way. You're not going to have that problem in basketball. It covers all the players. Football, same thing. You're not going to have a third-string offensive lineman who's not in the set win the MVP. It's going to be a quarterback or every now it might be Jonathan Taylor this year, but those guys are covered. Baseball is a little bit tougher because there's more players and all like that, but even so, they've never missed on that.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like I mean, obviously it's very, like, you got to stay in front of all of it, but you guys are able to help people navigate through it if they come.
That's the beauty. And honest to God, everybody in our shop with every discipline, like I may not know very much about comics. And when I say I may not, I mean I don't.
Yeah.
But we have experts in every discipline in our shop. And what I love most, it's not just that they know, it's that they like teaching and helping people understand.
That's the biggest part is education. And that's what we do on the streams, too.
That's right.
Is we educate all the time. That's why people love to follow us and watch us on the streams is because we educate. Especially in the coin world and the comic world, people ask questions all the time. What does a newsstand mean? Or, what is the O-mint mark? Or what is this?
That's
And we educate and we try to keep it educated, the education level up, because that keeps people there. And not just buying, but learning.
That's right.
And you want them to learn
And
because you want them to enjoy.
That's right.
Because they enjoy, then eventually they will spend money. Right? They will buy stuff that looks cool or looks good or they understand. But until they know, they're not going to do that.
Sure.
So it's very, like tonight, I'm doing a Silver Age, Bronze Age show. Well, if you don't know what that is, that's a comic show from 1985 books down. 1985 to 1975 is Bronze Age, and 1974 and down is Silver Age. And then, of course, you have Golden Age, but that's in the 50s and older. Yes. But we won't be running much of that stuff.
I wasn't born.
I'm not in Silver Age.
You're not in...
Barely.
Yeah, exactly.
You said 75 is bronze? I'm bronze.
Bronze. Yeah, I'm bronze, too.
Yeah, I'm like... So that's funny. I'm nickel or something. I'm way down. I'm way down.
Anyway, so that's kind of some of the stuff that we do. And that'll run in parallel to the normal comic stream. So we actually do 2 comic streams at once. So it's kind of cool. Anyways, do you have any questions for me today?
So when they come in and they've got the questions for all of the stuff that you've got, and you've got all of your people there, how do you train your people? Do they just do their own stuff as far as learning, or do you train them?
Here's a prime example. Right. We have a guy that works for us named Theron. Theron is training as an assistant manager. He's training as an assistant manager. What does that mean? He has to know all the 4 categories, how to buy collections in those 4 categories, how to sell those 4 items. So he, by heart, he's a TCG guy. Okay, so he's Pokemon Magic and stuff like that. And he has been running our nightly play. But what we'll do is we'll eventually replace that position with someone new who's just specialized in that. And he's been learning this whole time how to buy a sports card, or how to sell a sports card, or what's in the sports card boxes, or how to buy an ounce of silver, or how to sell an ounce of silver, and things like that. So no, we kind of want everybody to start learning and cross-training. Right. And that's what we've been doing. Brian actually does know some stuff in all the categories because he's had to. And so that's kind of what it comes down to.
I can get you to a point.
Right. And then he'll bring in a specialist type thing. So anyways, it's pretty interesting. But yes, we kind of require everybody to learn.
Yeah. So. Well, that's great. And, give us the address. I know Brian did. Give us the address one more time.
It's 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway. Our phone number is 850-320-8388. And we're next to Florida Linens on Back Beach.
Yeah.
So visit our retail store. We have tons of great stuff, and we're going to have tons of great sales. Come in on Friday.
And just real quickly, I know we always talk about Black Friday, stores are selling and blowing stuff out and all like that. Don't think for a second we're not buying collections.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are looking to get some extra money to go buy Christmas gifts, things like that.
Bring your stuff in.
Bring your stuff.
You trade it. Basically, you're trading it.
Right.
You're selling it to us, and then you turn around and buy Christmas presents.
There you go.
Simple as that.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being here, and be careful in your travels.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
When we come back, we are going to dive into some of this rivalry hate week. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
And see, my thing with Lane is I ain't forgot what he did when he was at Tennessee. He snitched on us. I ain't forgot that. But he's a great football coach, and he's definitely be a good fit for Florida. What happens when he gets there? He wins 10, 11 games in a row for 3 or 4 years, and then DeBoer gets fired, and now Alabama's open. We're Ole Miss.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
It's Thursday. New Hard Rock Bet rewards are dropping.
Nice. Ed Reed, you in?
The only thing I drop is receivers and mics. Ed, we're talking bonus bets, deposit matches, parlay insurance. Oh, okay.
I'll do that kind of drop.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. Your favorite team is garbage.
Dallas? I don't want you going to Dallas at all.
And we're here to explain why.
That place is crawling with crackheads and debutantes, and half of them play for the Cowboys.
It's time to take out the trash on the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Also tonight, Monday Night Football, Carolina at San Fran starts right after the show. Kickoff is at 7:15. We've been talking about Lane Kiffin a lot, and that is good, but he's got a football game, Brian, that's going to be in Stark Vegas against those Mississippi State Bulldogs that want to ruin this game, because everybody's already picking Ole Miss for sure.
Look,
because they should. But
there's a lot to this game. I mean, it's one of the nastiest in-state rivalries there is. I mean, it's been pretty ugly.
Yeah.
In the past. Mississippi State's sitting at 5-6. I mean, this was a team everybody pretty much picked to finish in the basement. 2-10's what most everybody's predictions were. Mine wasn't much better. I think I might have been 3-9, on the year. But look, bowl eligible would be a big thing. And so that's a big deal. So they're not going to make it easy. And look, we've seen what they've done this year. They took Tennessee to overtime at home. They took Texas to overtime at home. Now, they should have closed both those games out, but we won't talk about that. But this is by no means going to be a pushover for Ole Miss. However, the reason I don't feel all that confident about this, and I've said it from the beginning of the year watching them play that opening game against Southern Miss, it's not what you view as a typical Mississippi State team of the past, where they may have lacked in the skill positions, but they were always big, they were always physical, hit you in the mouth. The Leach years, it brought different kind of players in. It just did, and they were successful, but it's different. Where you can have great success against Mississippi State this year is if you can run the ball between the tackles. For whatever reason, a lot of teams have just tried to hit them over the top, and I think it's kept. State's got two good corners, one that may go first round this year. But people have tried to do that. Look what Missouri did last week. Ran the ball between the tackles. Hardy's still running. So I think
he's a great back, though.
I think because Lacey has really come on late in the year for Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin, everybody thinks all he does is throw it. That's not true of his offenses. So I think he's going to know that. I think you're going to see a healthy dose of Ole Miss running the ball. And State's had a wonderful year. I would love it more than anything else. I don't think it's a good matchup for him.
Yeah, and if he does lose that game, I think everybody is going to be like, oh, he was looking forward to Sunday.
But I will say this, the most tragic thing about this game is Friday at 11 a.m. That's a joke.
Yeah.
This game, Thursday night of Thanksgiving, was huge for the state of Mississippi. It was huge for both of those schools. It was a great game to sit there and watch Thanksgiving night. I hate that it's moved off of there.
Yeah, that is true. Coach Whitten, you have your ties to Auburn.
Yeah.
It is Iron Bowl week. And the new quarterback Auburn's got, elusive, plays good, moves good. Does Auburn have a chance at Jordan-Hare at night against this Alabama defense and offense that seemingly can't run the football? What are you thinking about this?
They always have a chance in Jordan-Hare. That's where one. But again, there's a lot of things that can play into the favor. Obviously, Auburn's defense pretty good this year.
Good.
And Alabama's lack of ability to run the football. I mean, I think that's going to give them a chance right there. Then it's just going to depend what Auburn can get out of their quarterback play. When the quarterback plays well, they got a chance to win. When they don't get any, quarterback play, it's been real ugly. So, that's what it's going to be. Obviously, Auburn's got some playmakers outside that give them a chance. And, hopefully can make some plays, but I'm not going to sit here and say Auburn's going to win, but I like them to keep it close.
Yeah, because the last few outings that Alabama's had, Ty Simpson hasn't been very accurate. He's been off. And with not having a good running game going, it does seem like there's a little bit of comfortability with Simpson and the offense. Now, the other thing that I want to bring up is that ever since Jam Miller's concussion at Missouri, his numbers have just been way worse. They've dropped so low, and it just makes you wonder. That has to play into it because, there's a stark difference to the Jam Miller before Missouri and then after Missouri. And so you know how this game is. This game is a physical, hit you in the mouth. Right. This is going to be, obviously records get thrown out the door. You're talking about Jordan Hare. It's going to be a dogfight. Right. And in those Saban years, what always kept us afloat is to be able to run the football. Right. And that's what scares me the most about this Alabama game.
Yeah. And for Auburn to me to be in it, they're going to have to get some type of defensive turnover, get the offense a short field, get something out of special teams. But to me, if they don't do something along those lines, as much as Alabama struggled, I definitely think they're the way better team. And Ty Simpson has had games where he looks absolutely elite. Yes. And so. Like I said, it'll definitely be an entertaining game, be fun to watch, and like I said, hopefully Auburn can keep it close.
Yeah.
If they have to bring 6 to get pressure on him, they're in real trouble. Yeah, if they can get to him with 4, Alabama's going to have a long road.
Yeah. And that's it.
But back to the Egg Bowl, hasn't Ole Miss struggled on the road, a lot this year?
Yes, some.
They struggled at Kentucky, struggled at Florida.
Yeah, in a weird way, they always struggle with Kentucky. Yeah. Like it's a weird matchup with them. The Florida one was at home, I think. Because that one was in Oxford.
It was.
But,
that was.
And look, this game isn't exclusively a home team always wins. There's been a lot of road things, but it seems like the really weird things in this series happen in Starkville. This is where guys lift their leg and 2 coaches lose their job. It's really weird, but it's, again, I just hate that it's Friday at 11.
I know.
A night game, just weird things happen at night in Stark Vegas.
I'm going to read a couple of comments. Otis says that Roll Tide, they're going to bring their A game, so Saturday night to get it done. Then Ginger on the other side said, I went to the Iron Bowl 12 years ago when Auburn won, and Auburn's going to win this year.
12 years.
Kick 6.
We don't 13. We don't talk about that game.
I just said it, but either way, we're going to go to our Big Ten aficionado, Jeff, since LSU and whoever they're playing is really not a big rivalry, but either way,
it's not.
Listen, what do you think about Ohio State and Michigan? Because you're the Penn State guy, so
let me
tell us the Big
something.
Ten story.
This is not rivalry week. You know what this week is called? It's hate week.
Yeah.
And that is the second biggest hate game in the nation is Ohio State, Michigan. They really do hate each other.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But Alabama and Auburn are next level. They are the number one hate rivalry in the nation, hands down, I think. Maybe it's the fact that I'm not at their doorstep and I'm closer to Alabama, that I see it more. Maybe I'm biased in that. But Ohio State, Michigan, they have people that live in Ohio, and they'll go up to Ann Arbor, and they'll get their hotel at the state line in Ohio because they don't want to sleep in the state of Michigan.
They won't buy gas in the state.
They don't want to spend money there. They don't want to give the money. So let me tell you this. This is just a me thing.
Okay.
So ever since Michigan became relevant again,
4 years ago,
the rivalry, and then the way Michigan was able to dominate, and then you add the cheating scandal with Scallions. And when you look at all of that built into it, I think for the sake of it right now, the hate, not that there's not Alabama-Auburn hate, because there are, but the hatred of, I lived in Columbus for a little while, about 4 years.
Wow.
The hatred between Michigan and Columbus, Ohio, with Ohio State is like, I don't really know. Because families split on that. They don't come together and talk about it. Like, my family, I got some Auburn people, I got Alabama people, and we'll still talk and we'll still have a good time. They literally don't talk football. They talk something else. It's almost like it's politics or a religious thing. They don't talk about it because there's going to be that one guy and there's going to be that one guy on the other side, and we're talking about turning tables over and losing all the dinner.
You know what nobody's talking about in that game? People have said, well, Ohio State is clearly better. Michigan's fallen off. Ohio State hasn't been tested. They're saying all those things. What they're not talking about, Michigan's sitting here at number 18 in the polls, but they're 9-2. A win over Ohio State, and let's just say Oregon drops this road contest to Washington. I think Michigan is in play to make the playoffs here. Nobody would have thought that going in.
No.
So, they have a real shot to do some big things. The game's in Ann Arbor. I think Ryan Day's beaten Michigan once, his first year.
Yeah, first time.
And has not beaten them since.
Don't forget, before...
Julian Sand has never played in this game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff going on here.
Don't forget, last year when they lost to Michigan, they were calling for his job.
Oh, yeah.
His seat was hot.
Yeah.
Had he not spent all that money,
which was crazy.
Had he not won the national title last year and say he had lost, I don't know. One other
thing, and I'm curious y'all's take on this. To Jeff's point, I actually agree. I don't agree that Auburn Alabama is the biggest hate one.
It's got a 30 for 30 special.
But to me,
Ohio State doesn't have that.
It's a massive rivalry.
Yeah,
it means a ton. There's socioeconomic reasons in the state. There's all kind of things like there are in great rivalries. To me, the Auburn thing. That's bragging rights with your friends and people you work with and all that. Yeah. The hate one for me, and has always been for me, Alabama, Tennessee, it's never friendly.
Yeah, it's kind of a different
That's
it's a different
pure
game.
hatred.
Yeah. Because that
Auburn, I just want to one-up my buddies.
Yeah.
I hate Tennessee.
What do you think, coming from the other side of the Auburn fan base?
That argument is Auburn. It really bothers Auburn fans.
Oh, I'm sure.
That they try to act like the Alabama Tennessee is the bigger.
I don't think it's a bigger rivalry, but I know what you mean.
No, they try to act like that's the bigger game. Like Auburn's little brother. Auburn's little brother. Tennessee is they're on equal footing as us. That's the bigger game. But back to that Michigan Ohio State game, I want to say Michigan's running back. The transfer from Alabama, he has been out for a while. I don't know. I think he might be doubtful. He might come back. I find it hard for Michigan to be able to win as much as they want to run the football with him not playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Now if he goes back and plays, I think that definitely is going to give him a shot there. But
and what's funny is
curious to see on that.
How many of these rivalries have to do with economics? Like, I can tell you, little brother, yes, but Mississippi State, a lot of their problem with Ole Miss was the politicians who had gone to Ole Miss did a lot of things to keep the other schools in the state down and financial depression of counties. There's a lot of that's gone on that's given years of resentment.
If Ole Miss falls to 10-2, do you have them as a 10 seed? Because those 11 and 12 seeds could be automatic bids.
It's going to depend a little bit more on what happens around the country. What happens in the Big 12 this weekend is going to determine a lot, too. A lot of people aren't looking at that. With BYU, with Utah, whether
Texas
they
Tech.
get a second team in or not is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight when you look at what happens. There's a lot of implications.
Yeah, the ACC is getting
right at the bottom.
They're not getting another.
They're getting
the Big
one.
12.
The sad part is that Miami's at Pitt. That's an upset alert right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Pitt
just beat Georgia Tech.
I think the sad thing of all of it this year is a G5 team takes a spot from a P4 team when they really don't. To me, they don't deserve it.
No, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Even Texas Tech can just roll Tulane. They're just going to kill them.
Yeah.
Well, right now I think JMU is the most recent one. They're the highest ranked team.
And we'll find out tomorrow
in the AP.
Yeah,
we'll find out tomorrow.
In the playoff.
Either way,
I think it's Navy.
Great.
I don't know.
Great show. We appreciate Coach Tommy Joe Whitten being with us. I know he's going to be back with us in the next coming weeks or so. But tomorrow, we will dive into more of this. Thanks for listening today. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3